Dude, I'm sitting here editing, and what the hell is this headline, bro? Okay, let's see if the comments have any more insight as to what's going on. Democrats said that Republicans were the dangerous ones. Bro, there's nothing scarier than some libtarded ultra-Democrat person. Radical left are the true threat. Yeah, I mean, we saw, which presidential candidates getting shot at. They're currently interviewing someone. I don't know how much of the interview I can show without getting struck, because recently I got a strike for showing too much footage from this guy's channel, and he struck me. The video had like 100 views. It was up for one day, and I don't know how he found it, but sorry, I don't mean to make this about me, but I'll show the part where the guy explains what happened.
The question was about transgender shooters, mass killings, versus people that weren't transgender. And when that happened, when that question came out, and he's going to have the interaction, one shot, I was watching Charlie. I can't say that I saw blood. I can't say that I saw him get hit, but I did see him fall immediately backwards into his left. And I can just hope and pray that somehow he survived that.
I'm looking into Our Politics New. I looked into Our Politics Hot. There was nothing about it. We're just hell-bent on talking about Republicans, which is crazy. 45 minutes ago, still nothing. Nothing about Charlie Kirk. 3 hours ago, nothing about Charlie Kirk. What is going on here? If this was a libtarded YouTuber, then it would be just every headline would be about it. I'm seeing nothing though for 3 hours. Let's look at Charlie Kirk's channel, which, dude, I was watching this last month. Crazy how you can die in blink of an eye. Left-leaning, but political violence like this is unnecessary. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how you can be left-leaning when you say this in the next statement. It's like, the left is all about political violence. That's all they do. Well, I guess it's confirmed, and I don't know. There's not really much to say about it, except this morning I was watching the Lotus Eaters podcast about this dude who murdered that girl on the bus. This girl was the one, the Ukrainian refugee who looked like a freaking supermodel. They were talking about all the crime this guy did before doing that, and we got this one saying that it was natural for him to murder that girl because of the oppression that white people did. I think the problem with society today, you guys, is we have people that don't believe in the concept of hell. According to Google, only 65% of adults in the US identify as Christian. I think because a huge portion of the population does not believe in the same hell that we Christians believe that you're going to if you commit some crazy act of violence. I think the only solution when you let the country slip like this is you need to create hell. And what I mean by that is a person like this who did this crazy crime to that woman needs to be not only going to jail, but going to a jail where he's going to be receiving, let's just say, daily punishment. And it's going to be a situation where he's going to want to have the punishment end, but it's not going to end. And there's going to be no way that he can stop it. There's a lot of different ways that this can be done to these violent criminals. There was this method in Clockwork Orange. The main thing is the penalty for this guy needs to be broadcasted to pretty much all social media so that people that want to grow up like this guy can see the consequences for doing that. I think a lot of the youth, especially in communities like the one that this guy's a part of, they don't fear the consequences for any action, which is why they do any action. So yeah, I think my idea is actually the only way out of this situation, because a lot of the country has just grown up around complete lawlessness and no fear of consequences. And that's pretty much all I have to say on the matter. I was looking at Our Politics Rising just to see if I could find anything, and there's not a single thread on Rising, on Hot, or New. I even tried to find Charlie on this page, and there's nothing, which is wild because he's a political commentator. All they're talking about is the files, which, dude, I don't care about the files. Like, anybody on the right that's complaining about releasing the files is just participating in this distraction from the real issues of, like, dude, it's not safe to walk around the streets in America. Releasing the files is not going to change that. What I was expecting on Reddit was people to be talking about gun control, and I actually kind of agree with the left on this, simply because we live in such a godless, lawless society, and people don't fear any divine retribution for them doing crazy things with guns. I think our gun laws were meant for a Christian nation where everyone believes in the same concept of heaven and hell, and I don't know really the solution to the whole gun situation. Is stripping everyone's guns going to be a feasible thing to do, or do we have to be tougher on criminals? I think in a society where people are armed, You have to be extremely tough on criminals. No second chances for anyone that, does a gun crime or anything involving a gun. And there should just be a zero tolerance policy on crime in general. You have to almost go to where El Salvador went, and they've actually created a kind of hell on earth situation where, people can see that you're going to this place that no one wants to go to. You're being just thrown in a room where, there's no television. You're just being there left to rot and to deal with your consequences. I mean, this probably would suffice as a hell on earth situation. And you see the crime rate just dropping in those countries.